It will be hosting the MotoGP again in 2015. Yes, we are at the world-famous Donington Park and we are bathed in sunshine for the penultimate round of 2014. There are lap records to be broken and championships to be won. Welcome to Thundersport Elite. Well, here we are then at a glorious Donington Park, ready for the penultimate round of the championships. Alex Heaton could sew up the GP1 and the Superstock Thousands here today, and Curtis Wright has got one hand on the Sportsman Elite 600 Championship. In fact, 600s are out there now, getting their warm-up underway. Let's get down though on the grid, ready for the start of race one.
Here we go then, the Van Insura 600 Sportsman Elite. 38 bikes qualified for this one, a mix of Formula and Superstock 600 machines. There's Adam Shelton, number 61, starting from third on the grid. Number 28 there, James Rose. So welcome back to James. He's on a Formula 600 bike, former British Championship competitor, not had a race for a few years. And there's Curtis Wright, the current Sportsman Elite Championship leader, as well as the Superstock Championship leader. Competitive gridness, Dale Thomas, Bradley Jones and Lee Williams there on your right on the second row, number 94. But, well, all the way through the field, there are championships up for grabs. The Formula 600s, Dan Freer, it is that leads that one. Number 1 on the Yamaha R6, you'll see him around third or fourth row. Richie McNeil, his nearest competitor, number 22. Away from the line we go then for the start of the Sportsman Elite 600s, and Curtis Wright from pole position got off to a flyer. James Rose didn't from second, but it looks like it should be Curtis Wright that has the advantage. Rose is second, I think might be down to 5th or 6th place, but Rose, of course, despite the fact he's been out for a while, oh my word, there looked like there might have been an incident there. We've got one rider down already. Number 34, Robert Tong, is out of the race already on the Kawasaki, but we nearly had 3 or 4 down. Some wide and weird lines going on down into Craner curves and now into the old hairpin. That is number 45, Steve McMillan, just being passed by Tom Hallam, but it's Curtis Wright and Adam Shelton at lead from Bradley Jones. So 3 Superstock 600 machines with the advantage so far. Bradley Jones, by the way, has moved up into third place overall in the Superstock 600s. The rider there, number 7, in third place on that Kawasaki. Curtis Wright leads from Adam Shelton. Shelton there on the orange Scruffs Kawasaki. Goes up the inside though, down into the S's. This is the national circuit, by the way, for these guys. So down into Roberts S's and then onto the start-finish straight we go. James Rose has regrouped. He's into 4th place, just up ahead there of Liverpool's Lee Williams. Then it's Dale Thomas and Chris Helliwell having a good run out. He is second overall of the Formula 600s, up ahead there of Richie McNeil. But Curtis Wright it is that has the advantage on board that Triumph 675. And now we are on board with the Pallet Brothers sponsored machine through Craner curves and now down into the old hairpin. Curtis has been overtaken though, and it's his rival for the season, Adam Shelton, who's second overall in the championship. And Shelton really does need to get the better of Curtis Wright over these 2 races that we bring you today, because otherwise Wright could just turn up at Mallory next month, finish in 5th, 6th place and wrap it up. So Shelton's got to bring it here to Curtis Wright. Those guys now in 1st and 2nd, and James Rose has moved into 3rd place there, number 28. Brad Jones in 4th, number 7, ahead of Lee Williams, who's now going to try and attack Jones, I think. No change in the top 3. Shelton, oh, and there was a bit of a mix-up there, and it looked like, oh yes, and that was Shelton, I think, missing a gear as he tipped left onto the start-finish straight, and James Rose has caught them both napping and goes into the lead of this one, and Curtis Wright is now up into 2nd. Shelton in 3rd, they've all bunched up. Bradley Jones in 4th, the 16-year-old. I remind you, he's just 16, the former Philly 16 and 450 rider. He's up into 4th. Now then on board with Curtis Wright and looking at James Rose, number 28, the rider from Doncaster on that Kawasaki Formula 600 bike, but he's now lost third, lost second to his rival Adam Shelton from Hull on the Scruffs Racing Kawasaki. Good view this one, as you see them tipping into McLean's. There is Dale Thomas and Chris Helliwell. Number 4 is James Henry ahead of Richie McNeil, and then you've got 72 Max Wadsworth from Halifax on the SGS Racing Kawasaki. James Henry, by the way, from Castle Donington. He lives literally about, well, not even a mile away on the Tell Profield Kawasaki. You may remember him from probably 09, I would have said, in the Thundersport 600 Championship before he moved on to race in the British Championship. He's having a play out with us this weekend. We're now on board with Chris Helliwell, and this is a camera that he's got inside his helmet, I believe with these glasses. He's got these strange glasses that produce some action inside. So Chris Helliwell at the moment having a really solid weekend, and he's trying to end the season in the top 3 of the Formula 600. Out front though, it is James Rose that leads this race overall, ahead of the Superstock machine there of Adam Shelton, who goes underneath him into the old hairpin. Adam Shelton really going well here, and he would love the checkered flag to go out at this point so he could get a rider in between himself and Curtis Wright there in 3rd place. Lee Williams, by the way, is up into 4th. Number 94 on the high-tech Robinson's Kawasaki, the rider from Liverpool, has gone underneath Brad Jones, number 7 on the Bob Jones Heating Kawasaki. On board with Chris Helliwell here again here, and that up ahead of him is 193 Dale Thomas from Caerphilly on the Yamaha. Chris Helliwell, number 64, sponsored by Phoenix Race, or riding for the Phoenix Race team, sponsored by WDH on that Yamaha, rider from Rotherham. On the start-finish straight we go again. It's Adam Shelton that has the lead of this Sportsman Elite 600 race. That's Bradley Jones's pit board there. James Rose just hovering in 2nd place. James, of course, you'll know from British Championship. He did 125, then into Superstock 600s, etc. But he's had a year or so out. That is number 1, the reigning champion Dan Freer, up ahead of William White, and number 87 Adam Clark on the AC Racing Yamaha. Milo Ward, the bright yellow and green machine, also well in the mix. James Henry, I mentioned. Sam Cox perhaps not having the best season to date at the moment, but he's still up there in the top 5 or 6. There, just up ahead of those guys, that looks like number 84. That's Brom Lambrechts. I probably am not pronouncing it right, but he is from Oosterzel in Belgium, the 22-year-old. Normally races in the French Championship. This is his first go here at Donington Park, and he's not doing too bad. There is a change for the lead though, as number 28 James Rose does take the advantage ahead of Hull's Adam Shelton. Shelton just trying to now get back into the slipstream again. That's Formula 600 versus Superstock 600, I remind you. So James Rose got a slight power advantage over Adam Shelton and Curtis Wright, but around a circuit like Donington Park, it won't make too much difference. There is Dan Freer up ahead of Clark, William White, Lambrechts, then number 41 Milo Ward. They are just ahead of Joe Barton from Wakefield on the HB Motorcycles Yamaha. He's been sponsored by bathmate.com. I remind you, I said this at the last round, I'm not going to announce what bathmate.com is. You can check that one out for yourself. Number 28 though, James Rose it is that leads. A slight adjustment there from Adam Shelton in 2nd place and Curtis Wright 3rd. Those two have been the class of the field so far this year. Number 63 is James Buchanan just going through. There's 54 Sam Cox. Not sure what's happening with Sam this weekend, just not quite bringing his A game to the table, but he's still got a chance of fighting for that top 3 spot in the Superstock 600s overall when we get to Mallory Park. Last lap flag out though between James Rose, Adam Shelton and Curtis Wright. That's James Folkard going through. James incidentally still looking for some sponsorship, and that's an MV Augusta that he's out there on at the moment. It's his first go on it. He's doing all right, I have to say, but desperately looking for a sponsorship for next year, and why nobody's come on board I do not know. There is number 28 though, James Rose, that has the advantage so far, and Adam Shelton is desperately now trying to get past James Rose and get the 25 points overall. Curtis Wright looks safe in third and is ready to pick up the pieces of any mayhem that goes on up ahead of him. Adam Shelton surely looking to try and make a move here. He's not going to get it on power advantage, but that'll help because James Rose has just had a look over his shoulder, and I'm afraid it's bad news, James. Adam Shelton is still on top of you. Onto the back straight we go then here. The conclusion of the Van Insura Sportsman Elite 600 race. It's still James Rose that just about has this advantage down into the final hairpin, but Adam Shelton can't quite get it. Is he going to have the drive to the line? No, James Rose is going to take the win here in race one ahead of Adam Shelton, but crucially Shelton finishes in second ahead of Curtis Wright, and that will make a big difference to him in the championship overall. In the background there, Lee Williams it is that just gets fourth ahead of Bradley Jones. So that was for the final Superstock 600 podium. And Dale Thomas, 193 from Caerphilly in Wales, finishes in 6th place overall. Formula 600 podium up first, James Rose, Chris Helliwell and James Henry. And in the Superstocks, it's Adam Shelton, Curtis Wright and Lee Williams.
Winner of the Formula 600 race and the race outright, James Rose, good to have you here in the Thundersport paddock. It's been some close races there, but a new lap record. You've taken that away from Sam Hornsey. It's been there for a while now, so a good result for you.
Yeah, it's my first weekend's racing in 2 years. You know, we've just come back in just a bit of a shakedown for next week for Silverstone at BSB, but more than happy. You know, bike's working brilliant. Got a good team around me at the minute. We're just getting stuck in, you know. I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank Rob Marshall, Mick Corrigan, Ray Stringer, Max's Tyres, Motor Breakers, everyone that's got in and helped me really, just on my comeback. So, you know, I've got pole, 2 wins, so there's 1 to go, and we'll see what happens.
Winner of the Superstock 600 class there, Adam Shelton. Adam, you've got the better of Curtis, which is obviously important for your championship, and you got a new lap record.
Yeah, brilliant. It's all down to setup really. As I say, the full year for me has just been learning my way around the bike, and more we get through the races, the more and more I understand what we're doing with the setup. Massive help from the Ron Haslam Race School for giving me some tips. Like to thank also Scruff's Wetwear for being the main reason why we're here. 5 Ways for some top kit, Brooks suspension as well, and everyone else, Motul, AVG, RST. So thank you guys, really appreciate it. Cheers.
Well done.
All right. Don't go anywhere, folks. Coming up after the break, we'll bring you action from Sparklight Racing, Golden Era Superbikes and Supersport. Welcome back to the Donington National Circuit. It's time for the Sparklight Racing Golden Era Superbikes and Supersport. And Chris Martin is back out to play. Chris, of course, regular in certain parts of this season, but this man here, number 35, Shane Pearson, can win the championship overall in the Superbikes, just like his brother, Jamie Pearson, could win the Supersports. We could have history made here today at Donington Park. Ollie Dupree, you've got to consider him as well, though, number 65. The bad news is, though, in terms of the Golden Era Superbike Championship, John Dieterman, one of the championship title protagonists, his bike went pop after qualifying yesterday. Such a shame for him. We send you all the best, John, but it's not to be for him. Chris Martin, though, it is, that is going to get the whole shot down into turn 1 ahead of Shane Pearson. Greg Lewis is out to play this weekend as well. Number 46 in the yellow, white and black Yamaha. You'll be able to see him. Mike Horbury is back with us again for a round in the Super Sports. Mike sporting number 9, but it's Chris Martin that has the advantage from number 35, Shane Pearson, into the old hairpin. So Ollie Dupree effectively now is the man that can prevent Shane Pearson from winning the championship here today, with John Dieterman now absent. Further back in the Super Sports, Jamie Pearson realistically just needs a couple of decent finishes here today, and he can wrap up the Golden Era Super Sport. We have never had 2 brothers winning championships before, let alone in the same race or on the same day or on their home circuit, so all sorts could happen here. Chris Martin, though, well, the reason he's missed a few rounds is because he went out at the Classic TT. That didn't end particularly well for Chris, but he's also been out there racing in the National 250 GP Championship, which he's wrapped up, so been a busy boy this weekend, this year. That's Nick Williamson just going wide on the exit and allowing Ollie Dupree going through there. You may notice that Ollie Dupree's bike slightly different in terms of the rear seat unit there. That's because it's not actually his bike. And Ollie would like to express a massive thank you to Adam Palfreman, who's lent him an SP1 after Ollie had problems with his bike. Other names to mention for you: Chris Matthews, number 34 out there on a Ducati 996, beautiful looking bike. You may remember the name if you're a follower of Thundersport throughout the years. Chris was one of the Street Fighter A protagonists earlier on in the... and that's Nick Williamson who's gone down. And Nick Williamson, the former runner-up of this championship, has gone down, the rider from Southampton. It's not a nice place to be going off either. That will be a bike wrecker. Meanwhile, this is Greg Lewis, number 46. Greg from Warrington on the SMD tyres Yamaha, but he's being passed there by Ollie Dupree from Ware on the Peterson Sims Honda SP1, or the borrowed machine. There's Chris Martin though, number 26. Chris having a good lead there over Shane Pearson. Shane, by the way, I don't think he'll mind me saying this, to say he's got super fit over the last few rounds is an understatement. He has lost stones in preparation for not just the end of this season, but in general, his bike fit. They are both way under the old lap record that was set by Rob Wilson. And Shane Pearson here is looking in good shape to take the Golden Era Superbike Championship. There he is in second place, number 35 on that Melted Sliders Suzuki 750. He and his brother hail from Derby. You couldn't get more of a home circuit for them. There is Greg Lewis, number 46, just up behind Ollie Dupree. Further back, Mike Horbury it is that leads the Super Sports. He's up ahead of 112 James Nudge, and then it's Jamie Pearson, Bloomfield and Nicholson. So Pearson's sort of in the mix at the moment with the riders that he fights with for the championship, and if he can come out of that on top, he'll be in good shape. Chris Martin it is that still leads though, number 26. Then it's 35 Shane Pearson, who's coming under a bit of pressure now from Ollie Dupree, number 65. Ollie allegedly his final season in the championship. Number 35 Shane Pearson has already got a GP1 bike waiting for him to race for next season. Would dearly love to wrap it up here. His brother also. They always come with about 20-30 people, family, friends, team members, and they're all hovering over at Redgate Corner at the moment in orange, which is the same colour as the Marshals, funnily enough. There's number 24, and that is Shane's brother, Jamie. He's up there ahead of Ian Morgan from Spondon, who also races for the Melted Sliders team. So he's got a bit of protection there, hasn't he, almost, as they go through Redgate Corner. Chris Martin has got a mammoth lead here out front and is breaking lap record time after time, but Shane Pearson and Ollie Dupree, they're going through second and third place. In fourth here is Greg Lewis, number 46, the rider from Warrington. That there is number 15, Richard Stanbury from Duns on the Stanbury Racing Suzuki, going well. And number 88 further back is Richard Stubbs from Stone on the DCR Racing bike. We saw Mike Horbury in there in the middle of them on the 600. He leads the Super Sports. But Chris Martin here in control on the Mistral Kawasaki. Across the line he goes, down into turn one. Really is, despite the fact that he's got a big lead here, he's still pushing that bike. A couple of back markers going through your picture there. Chris Mee and 167 is Chris Jones. Then it's Shane Pearson there, number 35 on the Melted Sliders Suzuki, up ahead of that SP1 of Ollie Dupree. Well, it might be borrowed machinery, but that's not stopping him from going full chat at the moment, is it? There's number 15, and we've got a faller down into turn one, or on the exit of turn one, and that is number 57, Ben Wilson. Not the Ben Wilson that you guys might know from British Championship, a novice Ben Wilson with us, but he's gone down, he's up and okay. Chris Martin, meanwhile, going through some more back markers. Look at the size of the lead that he's got. This fight going on, though, for second place is pretty close now, and here comes Ollie Dupree. He pulls the pin, he makes the move, but he runs wide, and Shane Pearson goes back through again, and Pearson might not allow him through again. Pearson will be desperate to take second place here, and that will allow him a really good chance of winning this championship overall in the second race. Chris Martin, though, coming through the chicane for the penultimate time. It's one lap now for Chris Martin. Goes across the line. His lead is around about 8 or 9 seconds. This is Greg Lewis in fourth place. He's up ahead of Horbury there, number 9, who leads the Golden Era Super Sports. We've got James Nudge second in the Super Sports. Jamie Pearson still holding on to third, which is good news for him. Chris Matthews is flying through the pack on the other Golden Era Superbike machine as well. He's on for a decent result. Chris Martin then, half a lap to go for him to pick up yet another win. He didn't feature inside the top 10 of the championship at the start of this weekend because he's missed a few rounds, but he's already picked up a few decent results and he could lift himself into the top 6 overall. He won't feature for the championship win overall, but this is the battle for second place, and Ollie Dupree has done the same thing again. He's gone up the inside, and has he gone wide this time? No, he's held on to it as they try and filter through some traffic between McLean's and Coppice, and Shane Pearson has got to find a way now past Ollie Dupree. Oh, it's not looking like it's going to happen, and Pearson will be a bit frustrated by that. There is number 15. That is Richard Stanbury, who's fallen back a bit. Brad Davey, though, goes through, and now the checkered flag is out for Chris Martin. He wins the first race here on TV Day, and Ollie Dupree, will he hold on to second place? Oh, it's going to be a close run thing, but he will just about do it. Ollie Dupree takes second, ahead of a wheeling Shane Pearson. It's decent points for Pearson. Ollie Dupree is absolutely delighted with that, and Greg Lewis will take fourth overall ahead of Chris Matthews. Mike Horbury's 6 is a very strong finish overall to win the Golden Era Supersport. It was second for Nudge and Jamie Pearson. One hand on the Supersport trophy, he'll finish third. There's the Superbikes then, Martin Dupree and Shane Pearson, and in the Supersports it's Horbury, Nudge and Jamie Pearson.
Winner of the Sparklight Racing Golden Era Supersport race here, Mike Horbury. Mike, blistering pace shown by you all weekend. You've broken the lap record, and that's 3 out of 3 now. Not bad at all.
Yeah, not bad at all, really. I wish I could have done a few more rounds, really, but it's all about budgeting it in this game, and I enjoyed the race. It was good. Well, I don't think I went as fast today as I went yesterday. Doesn't seem very grippy today. I don't know what everybody else is feeling, but I'm chewing tyres up pretty quickly. And but yeah, the race was great. It was loads of fun. You get mixed in with the superbikes and you don't really know where you're going, and you don't know if there's a 600 in front of you sometimes, or you just don't know where you are. But it's great fun, and yeah, smashing, loved it. Well done.
Anyone to thank at all? Or?
Yeah, if I could, yeah. Ian and Neil Sargent Electrical Services. I wouldn't be here if they didn't do their bit, you know, fantastic. Helped me since the day I started. Girlfriend Louise, daughter Effie, obviously I have to mention her. And all my friends who chip in and do little bits for me, you know, paint work, bit of spannering, and yeah, all helps, and it's brilliant. Thank you very much.
Well done to you, Mike. We'll move on to overall race winner now, Chris Martin. Chris, good to have you back. Obviously, you've been away for a few rounds. You've been involved in the Classic TT, etc., etc. Everything going well. Come here this weekend. You're consistently breaking your own lap record and picking up some decent points.
Yeah, it's been a good weekend for us again, really. Obviously, we've had to start from scratch. It's a new bike from, obviously, it got wrote off after the TT, so we've got from scratch and we're starting again. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. Just a few little niggles here and there, but we're getting quicker and quicker, so we're really enjoying it.
Anyone to thank at all?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank all the team, you know, Dave, Nigel for putting it together, my dad, my mum for supporting me all the way through it, Archon, and my girlfriend and everyone for being here, supporting us all the way. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris. We'll see you out for race 2 in a moment. Join us after the break, though, and we'll bring you all the action from the bike insurer Thundersport GP1. So it's time for the first bike insurer Thundersport GP1 race here at the Donington National Circuit, the penultimate round of the Thundersport GB Championships, and some squeaky brakes there for Jonathan Lodge, number 26, who's back for a visit here at Thundersport GB amongst some pretty strong competitors. There's the championship leader overall. He can wrap up both the GP1 and the Superstock 1000 title today, number 111, Alex Heaton. Jess Trailer, though, is out to play. Nice to have Jess out there with us, number 8, so he's on pole position on the Morello Services Kawasaki. Behind him also you can see there 132, his teammate for the weekend, Peter Ward. Danny Murphy back out to play, the former Superstock 1000 champion. Of course, a massive crash here earlier this season, and he's also had an arm pump operation. Phil Crow, number 71, former champion, also back with us. Gary Johnson, 2-time TT winner, out to play. A very, very strong grid here at Donington Park for the bike insurer Thundersport GP1, and it's Jess Trailer that has the advantage from Alex Heaton and Jonathan Lodge. There, oh, we've got a follower already, and that is Peter Ward. Oh, and I'm sad to say we'd stuck an onboard camera on Pete. We're not even got halfway down the road and Pete hobbles away there. Oh, that's such a shame for Peter, and he is out of this race. He'll have another go at that in the second race. So Jess Trailer it is that has the early advantage as 38 GP1s fly around McLean's, and at the back there is number 57, and that's Oliver Mann. Nice to see Ollie out there. There's Alex Heaton though, who has taken the race lead. Alex, the championship leader overall, and Barry Teasdale, the man who's second, so look out for Barry. Number 18 there is Ryan Gibson from Watford on the Frame Fast Racing Kawasaki. Also pretty rapid around here, but Jess Trailer back up the inside on the Morello Services Kawasaki. Jess goes underneath Alex Heaton, and then it's Jonathan Lodge in third place, Gibson in fourth. Always worry when a camera pans back like that. It normally means someone's gone walkies, and that is number 54, Steve Hennigan from Hemel Hempstead, who just went wide there but has been joined. Jess Trailer on the Morello Services Kawasaki it is that has the advantage as they go under Starkey's Bridge, which is no longer there but it's still in the programme effectively. Alex Heaton second, number 111, and Jonathan Lodge in third. So a bit of British interest here for our regulars, and Alex Heaton is, well, he's able to cope with it at the moment. Gibson in fourth, Barry Teasdale doing well there in fifth place, and Danny Murphy in sixth. Down into the chicane we go though, and here comes Jonathan Lodge. Thought about to look up the inside and has done it. Jonathan Lodge, number 26 there on the diesel lift unipart rail. Kawasaki has gone underneath. Alex Heaton, Phil Crow there, number 71, back to some short circuit racing after his long year of road racing. He's up behind Danny Murphy, and that's Johnny Lodge. Jonathan Lodge has gone down, he's lost the front end into Redgate Corner. He's up, he's walking away, but he's just obviously pushed the bike a little too far down into turn one, and Jonathan Lodge is out of this one at the front. So that leaves Jess Trailer and Alex Heaton in first and second. That's Peter Eccles from Pontefract, number 22, up ahead of William White, who's out there on a Triumph 675. Then we've got 164 Matt Stevenson as well. Those guys just outside the top 20. Jess Trailer though, who's broken the lap record in the GP1 class of 109.280. He's taken that away from Gary Johnson. Should just point out, if you're wondering why Gary Johnson perhaps doesn't feature the top 4 or 5, of course he had that big injury and he's just returned. So this is one of the first times that we'll see him out. Really nice to see Gary out there racing once more. Number 7 he is, the rider from Brigg, Lincolnshire on a Honda. Nice to see him out there after Coulson's success of the TT, or the highs and lows of the TT for Gary. But yeah, if he was in full fitness, I think we might be seeing him at the front end of this one. There's Alex Heaton in second, Danny Murphy now in third, Barry Teasdale in fourth. Danny Murphy, of course, starting out with Thundersport back in 08 on a super team, then 450s. He held the 450 lap record on this national circuit up until this weekend, and he had that huge crash here at Donington Park, the GP circuit, and has been out for some time. Had an arm pump operation in between as well, so he's just trying to get back to full fitness. Neil Watson just went through the picture a moment ago. There's number 91 up ahead of 106. 91 is Dave Norton from Derby, up ahead of Joe Barton. Number 106, he's having a look over his shoulder. Joe just trying to get some extra track time in. But Danny Murphy there, then up ahead of Barry Teasdale, one of the biggest improvers in racing in general. Then there's Nico Mawini, race winner back in GP1, back in Anglesey, sorry. He was a GP1 winner. There's Dave Brooke, and then number 27, Brian Deluge, part of the Royal Navy team. Martin Brand there, number 52, is second at the moment in the pre-national thousands to Sam Boyers, who's had a very good second half to the season. In fact, Sam Boyers at the moment just outside the top 10 of this race overall. There's Danny Murphy though, former 600 and 1000 champion with Thundersport, up ahead of Barry Teasdale, the 2012 pre-national 600 champion, and then he went into the thousands last year. Has just come on so much. Barry Teasdale really doing well here, and he's up ahead there of Ryan Gibson and number 71, Phil Crow. Phil, who's obviously sponsored by the usual, but has also got some extra sponsors this year, Hand Trans and the Welton Group. There's 54. And Steve Hennigan up ahead of Martin Brand. Steve Hennigan, the rider that went for a little trip in the gravel trap, I think, earlier on into Redgate. But Jess Trailer from Great Dunmow, the Morello Services Kawasaki, rider that started out in the Super Teams back in 2006 and then went into British Championship. He'll probably be remembered most this year for the punch-up with Robin Harms down at Brands Hatch at the British Championship race at the start of the season. I bet he was wishing I wasn't going to bring that up. Sorry, Jess. But that is one of the biggest comedy moments I've had for some time, with the haymaker rolling in. But he's a quick rider, is Jess, and he's up against some decent opposition, so he's being tested. He's got the lead at the moment. There's a leg up in the air from Chris Barnes. Not sure what that's all about. Up ahead there, David Brook. And there's Sam Boyers. Sam, number 169, is leading this pre-national 1000 race. The rider from Leyland on the Auto Smart Honda. Coming on strong. Be interesting to see how he gets on next year. Just like Barry Teasdale, he's one of those pre-national riders that's picking up speed at every round, and he got past Martin Brand a few rounds ago in the championship. Jess Trader, though, still leads this one from Alex Heaton, and Alex Heaton, number 111, there he is on the AL Joinery Kawasaki, is doing everything he needs to wrap this title up in race 2. If he can keep this up, another rider, as the last lap flag comes out, Alex Heaton, has started with Thundersport from day one. He was out there on a, I think it might have been a Ducati, in what was known as the Junior Power Bikes back in the very first year with Thundersport, and almost run Thundersport Sid over on the start line down at Anglesey. Not for the moment, I'll forget in a hurry, but here he is 6 years later, about to win one of the biggest prizes at Thundersport, the bike insurer Thundersport GP1. Further back again we see Dave Brook there, number 73 from Bradford on the Arconi Racing Kawasaki, up ahead of 169 Sam Boyers, who looks like he's going to float home to victory in the pre-national thousands. By the way, this class, as you probably know by now if you've watched all season, is Superstock Thousands and GP1s. GP1's slightly more powerful. Jess Trailer is on a Superstock 1000 bike, and he's going to win the race outright, number 8 on the Morello Services Kawasaki. It might have been a bit closer, Jonathan Lodge not fallen earlier, trying to chase him down, and Alex Heaton behind, but Jess Trailer wins the first race by 3 seconds up ahead of Alex Heaton, who won't have a lot to do now in the second race to wrap up the title. Danny Murphy is back on the podium, 3rd overall, and wins GP1s. Well done to Danny. Up ahead of Barry Teasdale and Ryan Gibson. Phil Crow, who's back as well, finishes in 6th place, the former Thundersport GP1 champion. And then he's up ahead of Nico Mawini, Gary Johnson. So, Super Stocks, Jess Trailer, Alex Heaton and Barry Teasdale. In GP1s, it's Danny Murphy back on the top step ahead of Phil Crow and Nico Mawini. And in the pre-national thousands, it's Sam Boyers, Martin Brand and Shea Burton.
Winner of the pre-national 1000 race, Sam Boyers. Sam, you got the lead of the championship back at Anglesey. You've extended it this weekend, and you're really nipping on the heels of some of the front guys as well. Good weekend so far.
Yeah, last couple of meetings we've found some pace from somewhere. I think it's just confidence, really. I mean, once you've won 1 or 2, you know you can do it. So after Anglesey, we're obviously progressing well. Bike's working mint. Can't ask for any more. I mean, the pace here this weekend is really fast, and it's been coming down. Lap times have been coming down all weekends, so progression's always good.
Anyone to thank at all?
Can I thank Pageants Honda, Jackson Racing, Auto Smart, Easy Grip, Promo Signs, and everybody else. Thank you.
Well done to you, Sam. We'll move on to the GP1 winner, Danny Murphy. Danny, great to have you back in the paddock full stop after what was a horrific incident at this very circuit. You're pleased to be back, and you got a lap record there.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to be back riding. It's been way too long since April, but got the arm pump operation which caused the crash, and now the arm pump's gone, which is great. It's just need to catch up with these boys at the front, and hopefully I'll be able to do that in race 2.
Well, it really is very pleasing to see you up on the podium. Anyone to thank at all?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Mark and Alan from Hurst Property Management and Long Controls, Fleet Graphics, Deb Bostock, Dave Tully, Lisa for the Day and Easy Suit and Levers, William Murphy and Sons, my dad and Graham, and everyone that's come this weekend.
Good to see you, Danny. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Moving on now to Superstock winner overall, Jess Traylor. Jess, it's always great to have you in the paddock, and but not been the easiest of races. You've had some corking races so far this weekend, but that one was a little less hard.
Yeah, it was a bit more relaxed that time. I managed to get quite a good gap and not sort of get tangled up with any of the back markers, which was nice. It sort of come to me at the right sort of time, which helped. I just got a little bit mugged by my teammate yesterday due to a few back markers yesterday on the last lap, but you know, Robin's racing it. It's been really good coming here this weekend. Our aim was just to get some more track time on the bike, as I've just switched from Maxon to K-Tech. So I'd like to say a massive thanks to MSS Performance and K-Tech for the help with the progression we've made with the bike and the K-Tech this weekend. And I'd also like to say a massive thanks to Steve Buckingham and Morello Racing for giving me the opportunity this year. Also to Shark Crash Helmets, Held, Levers, anyone else who's helped me, Race Engineering. I've had a fairly good year, and it's nice to come here and do a bit of Thundersport and have some fun and some extra track time away from British.
Well, it's good to have you here, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next one.
Brilliant, thanks a lot.
Cheers to Jess, and now we move on to the champion, not just the champion of Superstock Thousands, but the GP1 winner overall, Alex Heaton. Alex, you're close enough to winning that race on yourself here, but the lap times have been fantastic all weekend. The whole season has been absolutely great, and finally you've got your hands on both trophies.
Yeah, it was probably the most nerve-wracking race I've had ever, I think. I just didn't know what to do. I wanted to push on, so I didn't get caught in a battle with the others, but when Jonathan fell off, I didn't know how to push, so I thought my board was going up like 0.2 every lap, and Jess reeking away, but I weren't too bothered about that. I just tried a steady race and came away with a winning both championships.
Well, you're going to have to go and get yourself a shelf that's big enough for all these trophies, because you're going to have quite a few more to add to them at the end of the season, and obviously you've got lots of people to thank throughout the year.
Yeah, I'd like to thank all Ale joined, who've been absolutely amazing, but Andy Bark in particular, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have been riding. Just over a year ago, he let me have a go on his Suzuki after my crash, and I couldn't ride it, and I'd given up there and then. I was never riding again, and he was pushing to get me out on his bike, and this year he's made it all possible, so it's massive thanks to Andy Barker.
Well, a huge well done to you, Alex. Obviously you've been in the paddock for quite some time. You've now become the champion, so enjoy it.
Thank you very much.
Well, join us again after the break, and we'll bring you race 2 from the Vanisura 600 Sportsman Elite. Welcome back to Thundersport Elite. It's the Vanisura 600 Sportsman Elite Race 2. Adam Shelton here finished second in Race 1, and he could do with finishing ahead of Curtis Wright again, just to add a bit more spice to the championship for Mallory Park, the final round. James Rose will be in the mix as usual, the race winner from earlier, and Curtis Wright at the moment championship leader there on the Triumph, and he'll be wanting to keep Adam Shelton at bay. The usual other riders in the mix, of course, on row 2 there. Brad Jones, Lee Williams, Dale Thomas. Chris Helliwell had a really good race earlier on as well. Look out for him, number 64. But the lights go out and away we go. A better start, it looks like, this time for James Rose, who didn't get away particularly well in race 1. Down into turn 1 though, it is Curtis Wright, the championship leader, that has the advantage. In terms of the series overall, there are mathematically other ways others can get involved, but you're looking at just Curtis Wright, number 74, and Adam Shelton, 61. Those guys are the two that can win this championship and will probably do everything they can to win overall. Curtis Wright has been with us from day 1 in GP3 and has been on this Triumph now for a number of years, but this has been his best year so far. Adam Shelton, Super Teens, and of course the winner of the Thundersport 500 Championship last year. On board with right now, following in the tracks of number 28, James Rose, the race leader. He won't mind James Rose leading this one outright. He won't be quite so bothered about him. It's all about Adam Shelton. Bradley Jones, though it is, that's up into 3rd place. Number 7 on that Kawasaki, the 16-year-old, former Super Teen himself, and 450 runner. But Adam Shelton carves his way through into the chicane and is up into 3rd place. Just behind them, Dale Thomas really going well there on the black Yamaha R6, number 193, the rider from Caerphilly. And then it's Lee Williams, Chris Helliwell, number 64, and number 4, James Henry. There is Lee Williams on that blue and white Kawasaki. His sponsors on that bib. Into Craner curves we go. James Rose got the bit between his teeth here. Lap records have gone in this class this weekend in both Formula 600 and in Superstock 600. James Rose has got the formulas And in the super stocks, it's been shared between Shelton and Curtis Wright, but Rose here pulling away on that Formula 600. These are the two men, though, in second and third. It is the Pallet Brothers Racing triumph of Curtis Wright, and then the Scruffs Racing Kawasaki of Adam Shelton just up ahead there of number seven, Bradley Jones on the Bob Jones Heating Kawasaki. Rose is away with it, though. James Rose on the Kawasaki from Doncaster. He leads, now on board with Curtis Wright in second place as we go through the chicane and peel off another lap. Onto the start-finish straight we go, the Wheatcroft Straight as it's now known as. And Curtis Wright still holds on to second ahead of Adam Shelton and Bradley Jones. Into Redgate Corner, turn one, a bit of a front end wobble there as the Kawasaki of Adam Shelton struggles to settle, and Bradley Jones is there to pick up the pieces of anything that might happen up ahead of him. Now down into Craner Curves, they go right, they go left, and then into the old hairpin, and Shelton really pushing the front end of that Scruffs Racing Kawasaki at the moment. Bradley Jones still hanging on in there though. Further back behind these guys, Chris Helliwell, James Henry and Richie McNeil are having a good Formula 600 battle. This weekend, number one at Dan Freer really struggling in this race, and that Formula 600 Championship is definitely going down to the wire. There is number 67, Nat Pearce from Wellington, on another Kawasaki out there. Seems to be the weapon of choice so far this year. Rose it is that leads overall, but this is the battle now for second place and the lead of the Superstock 600, and here goes Adam Shelton, number 61, up the inside of Shelton, but the way that the line has been taken there from Curtis Wright, he will get the drive down the start-finish straight, and he regains second place, and now they're bucking and weaving, and Bradley Jones is getting himself involved as well. We're on board with Curtis Wright, but up the inside goes Bradley Jones, does he? Yes, and around the outside there, Adam Shelton. Oh, this is brilliant stuff. This is for the win of the Superstock 600, and Adam Shelton cuts the nose of Bradley Jones and goes into the lead of the Superstock race, but second overall. Dale Thomas is also in the mix there, number 194 on the black Yamaha R6, and another rider that would love to be in that fight is Lee Williams. He's just trailing those guys in sixth place. That is number 28, James Rose. He'll be quite happy that he's got away from the rest of the pack and could be home and dry to win this race if he plays his cards right. We're now on board with Chris Helliwell, the Phoenix Race Team rider on the Yamaha, sponsored by WDH, just going around Coppice Corner and then on to the Dunlop Straight. He's on for another podium in the Formula 600, but he won't catch James Rose. This is the fight for second. This is the one we want to see. Shelton and Wright. There is Wright going up the inside of Bradley Jones. He's got eyes only for Adam Shelton out ahead. It's between those guys for the championship, and neither will give in, I'm sure. Down into turn one, Shelton it is that still holds on from Curtis Wright, and then Bradley Jones, then Dale Thomas, and then Lee Williams. Has just fallen a bit further back, maybe made a mistake there, and Chris Helliwell is trying to pounce on him. Here we go then, they're coming up to some traffic already, and Adam Shelton around the outside of one, and he'll try and go up the inside of another. No, that is number 63, James Buchanan. He goes around the outside of him at the old hairpin. He's going to try and make up a couple of tenths here, which could be crucial come the end of the race. There is Joe Barton having a fight with Lambrecht, the Belgian, who's come in as a wild card, you could say, for this weekend. And then a number 9, Paul Charman from Accrington on that Suzuki. There's William White, number 26, ahead of Barton, Lambrechts and Paul Charman. So those guys just outside the top 10 at the moment. Folkard and Wadsworth having a proper ding-dong further ahead of those guys. But at the front, James Rose it is that's gone across the line as the leader. Adam Shelton second, Curtis Wright in third. Brad Jones has lost a bit of momentum there. He's about half a second down, but here comes Curtis Wright. He's going to try and outbrake Adam Shelton into turn one, and there's no retaliation coming there from Adam Shelton. Well, not yet anyway. On the exit of Hollywood, they now go into Craner Curves once more, flat out, and now they tip left, and he goes around the outside, which will give him the inside line into the old hairpin. Nice move that from Adam Shelton, the stinger from Hull on the Scroffs Kawasaki, goes ahead of Curtis Wright. We're on board with him now under the old Starkeys Bridge, and then around Schwantz Curve up towards McLean's, and they've got some traffic to deal with here. Neatly done. Brad Jones still hanging on in there. He's doing well, the 16-year-old on that Kawasaki, the rider from Stalbridge. Now into Coppice once more. And these bikes, you cannot split them on that back straight. There's Adam Clark and William White Again, this battle further back, but to the front, James Rose it is that still leads. He's got about 3-4 seconds over these guys. Adam Shelton, Curtis Wright, second and third in the race. Curtis Wright it is that leads the championship overall. Brad Jones, who moved up to third overall in that first race, is in this fight. But here we go, up to the inside, down into turn one, and they're not giving up. And he sits Adam Shelton up, and Adam Shelton now tries to get back in the slipstream as they go down into Craner Curves. This championship is on, and Adam Shelton here, will he go around the outside again as they tip left? Yes, he is. He's going to have a look up the inside, really pushing here down into the old hairpin, and he goes back underneath him into second place. Superb battling here between the two championship rivals. James Rose, there's your leader. We've not even seen much of him. Number 45 there, Steve McMillan, being lapped here by second place rider Adam Shelton, with Curtis Wright still there. Bradley Jones, don't count him out. Number 7 on that Kawasaki. I think he's just sitting back. He's got front row seat to this. Rose is already down into the chicane, and in second place then Shelton, then third for Curtis Wright and fourth for Bradley Jones. A quick glimpse over to the time screens tell me that we've lost Sam Cox and Dan Freer from the race, and that could be crucial for Freer in the Formula 600 title hunt, but all eyes at the moment cannot be taken off this screen. The two guys fighting it out for the series overall. Curtis Wright, they're up the inside of Shelton, and Shelton trying not to give it up. Oh, and they touch as they come out of Redgate Corner and go down in towards Hollywood, and Bradley Jones is there ready to pick up the pieces. They then tip left down in towards the old hairpin, and what a move that was from Curtis Wright. That was close and personal, and now Adam Shelton carrying so much speed around the old hairpin. Further back, these are that's Lee Williams just up ahead of Chris Helliwell. Helliwell at the moment is on for second place in the Formula 600s. They're ahead of James Henry, but Chris Helliwell having one of the better weekends that he's had so far in 2014. Lee Williams is in fifth place, just up ahead here, the Superstock 600 rider. James Rose still leads it, 4 seconds out front. Then it's Curtis Wright, number 74, after that move down into Redgate. But here comes Adam Shelton, under-braking into that chicane, and he's done it again. They've swapped positions once more. Onto the start-finish straight as Shelton uses all of the exit curve down into turn one, and here we go again. Curtis Wright is going to have another look. We're on board of him now. Up the inside is he of Adam Shelton. Bradley Jones is here as well, and he's done it again. Adam Shelton then pumped down to third place, and Dale Thomas is joining Bradley Jones once more through Craner Curves. Adam Shelton is going to try his normal move, I'm sure, up the inside down into the old hairpin. They've got a bit of traffic though, they have to be a bit careful. Jeff Booth it is that they're about to put a lap on, and they're going to go around the outside of him, and that'll wake up Jeff. There's the race leader, James Rose. Here is Curtis Wright, and there is Adam Shelton just in third place, and Bradley Jones again inches closer and closer. Up towards Coppice we go. This is anyone's. This is for the championship. Every point counts, but I would not want to put my money on any one of these finishing in second place. And here comes in the slipstream Adam Shelton. I don't think he's close enough here to make a move this time around. Bradley Jones there, still closing in. Number 7 on the Kawasaki in fourth place, and Dale Thomas making headway. Number 193. It's the last lap of the race as they go across the line. Rose has got this one surely. Curtis Wright has got a bigger advantage this time down into the first turn, and Adam Shelton takes that wide approach, which will give him excellent drive coming out of Redgate and down through Hollywood, and he gets tucked up right behind Curtis Wright down into Craner Curves on board with Curtis Wright now as we go left down into Craner Curves. Oh, and he's down! Curtis Wright has been pumped off by the looks of things on that camera angle. They touch, and Curtis Wright has gone down, and there he is. And oh, let's hope he gets up, because that's a quick place to be coming off. Oh my word! Oh, and Adam Shelton was carrying way too much speed down into Craner Curves there, and I'm afraid that is Adam Shelton's crash. Curtis, I hope he's okay, but he took it's a tough one. It's not completely malicious, it's just the fact that Adam Shelton's carrying too much speed, and by the time he goes in, he's got nowhere to go, and he's hit. Adam Shelton, he's up, he's walking away, and that's really nice to see as he gets a bit of assistance there and walked off. So then James Rose it is that's going to win this race. Adam Shelton is still on circuit. I think there might be a bit more to this. That was an interesting move between the two championship rivals. James Rose can cruise across the line then, and he wins this entertaining Van Insura Sportsman Elite 600 race, although it's all gone on behind him. Across the line there in second goes Adam Shelton, Bradley Jones and Dale Thomas. And they are looking into this, folks. Race Direction are looking into it. And I can confirm that Adam Shelton has been disqualified for that move. So James Rose wins it, the Formula 600 rider. Bradley Jones, the 16-year-old, wins the Superstocks by finishing second. Thomas third, Lee Williams fourth, Halliwell fifth, James Hedry in sixth place. Curtis Wright and Adam Shelton, well, that one resumes to the final round. Bradley Jones third, Dan Freer fourth, Ross Twyman fifth, and McNeil in sixth place. That's the elite overall. And the Formula 600's Freer it is that has just a 19-point lead going into Mallory, ahead of Richie McNeil. Chris Halliwell has moved up to third, ahead of Charman. Reese Rothwell fifth, Joe Barton sixth. And in the Superstock 600s, Curtis Wright and Adam Shelton still fighting it out first and second. I repeat, not a lot malicious in that, but unfortunately, I think the right decision. Don't go anywhere, folks, as we see a replay of that accident. We've got more action coming up after the break. It's time for the Golden Era Superbike. Still 2 races to go in Thundersport Elite. It's the Sparklight Racing, Golden Era Superbikes and Supersport. And on pole position here, Chris Martin looking to do the double here today on the Mistral Kawasaki. Can this man wrap it up? Number 35, well, I have news. He's done it already. Ollie Dupree has failed to make the grid, and it's a shame for him, but it's good news for Shane, and I wonder if he knows that already. But the fact that Ollie's not made it onto the grid means that Pearson, no matter what happens here, has won the Golden Era Superbike Championship on that Melton Slider Suzuki. So a very big well done to you, Shane, but you've still got another race here. Greg Lewis it is, number 46 there. Looks like he's going to get up into third, ahead of Ian Morgan. Dave Chalice is there. Horbury, number 9, of course, in the Golden Era Super Sport. There's Jamie Pearson, number 24, of course, brothers with Shane. Now, Jamie pretty much needs to get himself on the podium. He needs to finish ahead of Sam Nicholson, and then he would get his championship too. And then we would have some situations, some celebrations in Parc Fermé where those brothers get to it. Anyway, relax, I would say to Shane Pearson, although at the moment he looks like he just wants to chase down Chris Martin, the race leader. Lewis is in third. Chalice has done really well there in fourth place, and Jamie Pearson has got off to a great start in the Golden Era Super Sports. Actually, he's up into second place, ahead of the likes of James Narge, Sam Nicholson, Bloomfield, Lowe, etc, etc. But no stopping this man, Chris Martin, on the Mistral Kawasaki. He cleared off in race 1. He's absolutely destroyed the lap record. That was a good move there from Horbury on the 600. Just going underneath number 20, Andy Chalice from Peterborough on the CT Racing Aprilia. Also joining there, Richard Stanbury from Duns on that Suzuki, but it's Martin from Shane Pearson, from Greg Lewis, from Mike Horbury, number 9, leading the Super Sports, and then number 15, Stanbury, up the inside of Andy Chalice. Richard Stubbs is off to a good start, number 88 on the Kawasaki. Andy Windsor on the Suzuki, also inside the top 10. And then it is Jamie Pearson, number 24 on the Suzuki 600, the Melton Sliders machine. As things stand, he would get it. Now, what's going on here? Chris Martin's got some sort of problem, a misgear or something, and he's fallen back into second place behind Shane Pearson. Well, I can tell you that the Melted Sliders team will go absolutely crazy over this on the start-finish straight if he holds on to first place for long enough. Problem there for Chris Martin, just getting it into gear. Onto the Dunlop straight we go, and Pearson leads for the first time, ahead of Chris Martin and Greg Lewis, down into the chicane, and Martin's just decided that he's not going to have a go here, and he's going to have a pop maybe on the start-finish straight, and there is Horbury up the inside. On that nimble R6, getting past Stanbury. Down the start-finish straight we go. And you can hear that round of applause. That is the Melted Sliders team. So Chris Martin actually does just regain first place. Goes underneath Shane Pearson. Either way, Pearson is the champion, and they'll be cheering him on when he gets back into Parc Fermé. But Martin seems to have regrouped. Whatever problem he did have is gone. And, well, 1:11.841 is the fastest lap that Chris Martin has managed, which is significantly quicker than the 1:16 flat that was the old lap record. Shane Pearson is also well under that. Greg Lewis doing well here in third, although I have to say that Stanbury's catching. Horbury still leads the 600s there, up ahead of Andy Chalice, and then Stubbs. There is Ian Morgan and number 30 Andrew Windsor, and then it is Jamie Pearson on the Melted Slider Suzuki 600, rider from Derby, the younger brother of Shane Pearson, who looks like he might just cement this 600 crown, the Supersport crown. This would be something else as they go on to the start-finish straight again. Shane Pearson's not giving this first place up just yet. There is Andy Windsor up the inside of Ian Morgan. Andy from Chichester, just going underneath Ian there of Spondon, another Melted Slider Suzuki rider. Down the start-finish straight we go, and there is Jamie Pearson, number 24, up the inside, or still holding on to the lead, should I say, of James Narge of Bedford. He only has to hold on to that at the moment, and he will take the Golden Era Supersport crown. I repeat, we've never had brothers winning championships in the same year. I don't think we've had brothers winning championships full stop, let alone in the same class, let alone in the same race on the same day at their home circuit. There's Sam Nicholson, number 2, rider from Nottingham on the Motorpoint Yamaha 600. He looks odds on now to clinch second place overall in the championship, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to do anything about Jamie Pearson. Chris Martin here though, number 26, the race leader. He's extended that lead now up to 6-7 seconds, and he's got a nice advantage over Shane Pearson. Stanbury's now moved up into third, ahead of Greg Lewis, and Mike Horbury here doing really well on that 600. He has also smashed the Golden Era Supersport lap record, which used to be a 1:18.5. It is now down into the 14s. Unbelievable pace shown from the Sparklight Racing Superbikes and of course the Supersports. We started off with a full group of these guys, and I think we've got about half left. A huge rate of attrition so far this weekend, as we get a shot there of Andy Chalice, number 20. Yellow and red Aprilia. He's up inside the top 5. Good result that for Andy, who started this weekend in 9th overall. This is Stubbs, number 88. Richie Stubbs from Stone on the DCR Racing Kawasaki. Electric pink, they call that colour. You can't miss him. There's 167 Chris Jones, number 89 as well, Lee Sylvan, and number 26 Chris Martin now coming to put a lap on them, and the last lap flag is out, and looks like there's a bit of a problem for a rider there further back, as Shane Pearson sees the last lap flag as well, and Pearson then, oh, Greg Lewis has gone straight on. Greg Lewis further back out of 4th place, has maybe got a problem with the Yamaha. Something's gone wrong, and Greg's really upset. He's got it going again, but he's lost out on that fight for 4th. Chris Martin, meanwhile, is going to win. Shane Pearson has won the Golden Era Superbike Championship, so hats off to him. And Jamie Pearson is just half a lap away from doing the same in the Super Sports. There is Mike Horbury. He's going to take glory again as the Golden Era Supersport winner in this race. Really solid effort from Mike, who's going to finish 4th overall here on that 600. Very impressive stuff at the Donington National Circuit. Just up ahead there of Andy Chalice on the Aprilia, number 20. And then you have to look further back to see Stubbs, Windsor, and then Jamie Pearson through. That sector is still up ahead of James Narge. But Chris Martin it is that does the double here today at Donington Park, and he wheelies across the line. Checkered flag is out. We then wait for Shane Pearson, and a big round of applause to Shane. Here he comes, number 35. He is the Golden Era Superbike champion of 2014, and I'm sure he'll have a look over his shoulder in a minute to see how his brother has got on as he goes down towards Redgate. We'll get a round of applause. I can tell you that Jamie Pearson has taken 2nd in the Golden Era Supersport. Chris Martin confirmed the winner. Mike Horbury the winner of Supersports, but Jamie Pearson is the Golden Era Supersport champion. The brothers have done it here today on their home circuit. Superb stuff. There's the top 3 in Golden Era Superbikes. Martin, Pearson, Stanbury, and in the Supersport, Horbury, the new champion Jamie Pearson, and James Narge. This is the championship points then. Confirmation that Shane has won that one ahead of John Dieterman, who unfortunately wasn't able to race today. Ollie Dupree, Nick Williamson, Martin and Andy Windsor, and also in the Supersport, confirmation that Jamie Pearson has won his championship, both of them at 110 points ahead. Let's have a word with them now.
Well, I feel like we need to get some Dire Straits music in. Brothers in Arms, an absolutely fantastic day at the office. We've never had brothers winning championships before, let alone on the same day at the same time, home circuit, so many emotions, I'm sure. We'll start with you, Jamie. The championship this weekend, you know, it's been in your hands, but you still had to do the job here this weekend.
Yeah, it was definitely better than obviously the other people, but obviously when we had the engine let go yesterday, it was a bit of a downer. But the lads, everyone who helps us has got the bike, swapped all my suspension to my other bike within the hour, just so we could get back out and do this.
Obviously, going into that final race, were you feeling any nerves at all, or?
Not really, a little one, but not massive, because I knew we'd got a good stretch anyway. So if we had to do it, we had to go to Mallory and do our best there. So, but no, really happy with that.
Move on to you, Shane. Obviously, coming into this weekend, we thought you might have a bit more work to do with John Dieterman, but with whatever happened, I mean, I'm not sure John would have actually been able to chase you. You've been in fantastic form all weekend. How happy are you to get this all sewn up?
I chuffed to bits now. I mean, we were expecting to tie it up at Mallory. And you know, it's unfortunate with John, and I'd have liked to have battled with him, but I was more than happy to give him the fight this weekend. But you know, to win it, you've got to be on the track, and you know, unfortunate for John, but mega job for us, brothers as well. So just a massive thank you to Melted Sliders, Camden Garage, my wife for putting up with all the weekends away as well with Jamie's, and Block Sunglasses. The list goes on, and Lisa, Denise, and Dawn for the breast cancer knee sliders and stuff. So just really chuffed with it.
And anyone you'd like to thank as well, Jamie?
Pretty everyone the same as Shane. Obviously done a fantastic job with helping us get here, and if we need anything, they've sorted it out. Obviously, I'd like to thank my fiancée, because I've not thanked her yet on telly, so I better get it done. Thank you.
Lovely stuff. Okay, one race left to go. Don't go anywhere. Coming up after the break, it's the GP ones. It's the final part of Thundersport Elite from Donington Park, the national circuit, the bike insurer Thundersport GP ones. Then there is Alex Heaton. He can become GP1 and the Superstock 1000 champion here in this race, and there's a big puff of air coming from his chest. Jonathan Lodge, who tipped off at Redgate in turn 1, will be looking to better that this time around. Jess Trailer there, number 8 on the Morello Services Kawasaki, on pole position, looking for the double. Pete Ward behind him, his teammate, will look to try and go further than Craner Curves on lap 1 this time. Look out also for the rest: Danny Murphy, Barry Teasdale, Phil Crow, Gary Johnson, etc. Away we go from the line then, the final race of the show, down towards Redgate Corner, and it's going to be Jess Trailer with the advantage ahead of Jonathan Lodge, and Phil Crow hanging it round the outside, number 71, the former GP1 champion, really going for it. A rocket start for the BMW man, and he's up into second place, and he's up into first. My word, what is it? What's gone on in between races here? Phil Crow leads down into the old hairpin, having flown through and past Jess Trailer. The rest of them filtering through as well. 338 Mark Greenslade there. Crow it is that leads from Trailer, from Lodge, from Eaton. Dave Brooke there, and Martin Brand, number 52, who was absent from the last round and lost out on the pre-national 1000 lead to Sam Boyers, who's just actually tucked up behind him. That fight will go all the way to Donington Park, Mallory Park, regardless of what happens here. Phil Crow, though, it's been a while since we've seen him lead a Thundersport GP1 race, but he is here up ahead of Jess Trailer. There's Alex Heaton, the man that could become the new champion of GP1s. He's behind John Lodge, and then it's Barry Teasdale. Barry Teasdale, number 224, the only man that can prevent Alex Heaton from winning the championship here today, and Phil Crow gets squeezed out of first place by Jess Trailer down into turn 1. Not the first time, of course, we've seen Morello Services bikes at the front of this race. Oh, wow! Phil Crow around the outside into Crater Curves. Have that, Jess, he says. Oh, my word. Superb moves here from Phil Crow. really getting down to business on the BMW up ahead of Jess Trailer, and there's a train of them. Heaton in third now, up ahead of Jonathan Lodge, and that would be enough for him to take the championship, as we see there, number 27, Fuge the Luge, number 27 from Poole on the Royal Marines Motorsport Honda, but it's Phil Crow that leads. Here comes Jess Trailer though, under braking down into the chicane, got him. And it is Trailer that has got the advantage, back again ahead of Phil Crow in second place, and Alex Heaton in third. Then it's Lodge at fourth, Teasdale fifth, Peter Ward in sixth place, who's having a better race this time, and number 7, Gary Johnson, is also up there now as well, of the Lynx Lifting Honda. Superb field of riders here, out front, on offer, for you to enjoy in the Bike Insurer Thundersport GP1. Jess Trailer it is that leads now from Alex Heaton, who's got ahead of Phil Crow. So Phil has just dropped back to third. No heroics down through Craner curves this time around. Jonathan Lodge is next, who's trying to pounce on Phil Crow. And then it's Peter Ward from Hinckley on the Morello Services Kawasaki. Pete has been around the block a bit in racing. He's not old, don't get me wrong. He's started racing, gosh, way back. I remember him in the Super Teens back in the days of Casey Stoner and Chaz Davies, and he's been in all sorts of classes, known as Pesky Pete, and he's having a much better race this time around, trying to close down on his teammate. Number 8 though it is, Jess Trailer that leads from Heaton, and Jonathan Lodge is up the inside of Phil Crow on the diesel lift Kawasaki, so Lodge going well here, up into third place. There is Jordan Watling up ahead of Dave Norton and Joe Barton. Joe out there on his 600. And another one on the 600 there, Bran Lambrechts from Belgium. And William White, those 600s all having a good battle. Trailer from Heaton. Heaton would win the championship from there. Then Lodge, then Pete Ward. There's Nico Mawini just up behind Barry Teasdale. And number 18 is Ryan Gibson from Watford. There. Ryan just inside the top 10. Jess Trailer not pulling away like he did in race 1. He's attracting the attention of the champion-elect Alex Heaton. There's Barry Teasdale just up ahead of Nico Mawini. Mawini out there on the Seadrift Kawasaki. Barry Teasdale, of course, number 224 from Proto on the Bob Henderson Racing Kawasaki. There is Sam Boyers, number 169, who has gone into the lead of the pre-national thousands. He's in 12th place at the moment, just up near Steve Hennigan, but he's in a bit of a lonely race, I suppose, at the moment. Jess Trailer it is that has this lead through the chicane, ahead of Alex Heaton, then Peter Ward, then that's number 96, and that's Callum O'Shea just being lapped. Danny Murphy's up in the mix as well. That's Michael Mace just being lapped by Nico Mawini, and Gary Johnson also. There's not much splitting these guys as they all go across the line. Gary Johnson just getting caught up with a few back markers. There's Pete Ward, number 132. He's made good progress in this race, considering he started 8th or 7th on the grid. And, well, this is pretty good stuff at the moment. In terms of lap times, the top 8 are all within, say, a second of each other. Not a lot splitting. They're all into the 109s, which is very good considering the lap record was a 109.5 coming into this round. There's 224 Barry Teasdale just underneath James Buchanan, who's being lapped, and again we can see Ryan Gibson there from Watford. Ryan is on for a top 10 finish, and Boyers is just now down to 13th, but still leads the pre-national thousands ahead of Martin Brandshaper, Matt Stevenson and Andy Stockdale. Jess Trailer it is still just about in control of this. When I say the lap record is a 109.5, Jess Trailer is just stuck in a 109 flat, and that is the new lap record. So Trailer on this Kawasaki, he'll have wanted to get into the 108s. It's not quite to be. Here comes Alex Heaton though, and Alex Heaton crosses the line. It's a 109.1 for him, so that's pretty good going from Alex Heaton. He's under the lap record as well. Peter Ward looks set to take third. Jonathan Lodge goes across the line in fourth ahead of Phil Crow. There's Gary Johnson, Nico Mawini as well, and here comes Alex Heaton. He'll have to do an awful lot if he wants to catch Trailer. I don't think that's going to happen, but Alex Heaton here in second place is going to wrap up the crown if he stays where he is, because Barry Teasdale's struggling a bit down in 8th place. Jess Trailer is going to do the double here surely, but it is all about Alex Heaton who is going to take the Thundersport GP1 and Superstock 1000 Championship if he can just hold on for half a lap. I wonder how the nerves are going here for Alex. He's been close to championships before. He lost out to Alex Hutchinson in the old GP2 class here with Thundersport a few years back, and that was an agonising defeat for him. He's been really going on strong. Of course, he was on the night road racing Ducati in GP1 and was going so well in that, in the super stocks, but it looks like today is his day. Oh, and there's a big crash over there. Now, what's happened there? That's Nico Mawini. Nico Mawini's gone down with a back marker, I think, Jonathan Painter. Either way, at the front, it's going to be Jess Traylor that does the double here at Donington National. But Alex Heaton in second, number 111 on the AL Joinery Kawasaki, deserves it. He's the Thundersport GP1 champion and the Superstock 1000 champion all at the same time. Superb stuff for Alex Heaton, and the rider from Sowery Bridge on the AL Joinery ALS Autos Kawasaki will be celebrating tonight. He finishes second ahead of Pete Ward. Jonathan Lodge is the GP1 winner, courtesy of finishing fourth ahead of Phil Crow. And Gary Johnson, a nice result for him on his comeback in sixth place. There is Jess Traylor up ahead of Alex Heaton, the champion of Pete Ward. And in GP1s, Johnny Lodge, Phil Crow and Gary Johnson. Pre-Nationals, Sam Boyers continues to lead this championship. He'll extend that lead. We'll have a look at the points of that in a moment. GP1 overall then, confirmation. Heaton is the champion, ahead of Barry Teasdale, who's confirmed second. Ingram still holding on to third there, but only 5 points ahead of Phil Crow. Nico Mawini fifth, and David Brooke in sixth place in the Superstock 1000s. Heaton again the winner and the champion, ahead of Barry Teasdale. David Brooke looks set for third, ahead of Martin Brand. Sam Boyers fifth, Neil Bainbridge in sixth. And in the pre-national 1000, this will go down to Mallory. 26 points between series leader Sam Boyers and number 52 Martin Brand. Let's catch up with John Lodge.
Winner of the second GP1 race and a lap record, Jonathan. That certainly went a little better than the first race.
Yeah, I made a silly mistake this morning. I just ran in a bit too hot into Redgate, just carrying a bit too much brake over bumps, and it was away before I knew what had happened. So main priority was just to make sure everything went right with bike in the first couple of laps. It took it a bit steady, just feeding my way back into it. But it's a shame, didn't think I had quite the pace there to keep it with front runners. But yeah, it was a good race.
Anyone to thank at all?
Yeah, everyone, Gary especially for this weekend, putting my bike back together this morning. It was a bit of a mess, and I'm surprised we got it all back together as good as we did. So, you know, main applause to him, and then all lads from Earnshaw's Motorcycles, Diesel Lift, Unipart Rail, and just everyone who's helped me this year. You know who you are.
That's it from a very sunny Donington Park. One round remains. It's Mallory Park, the final round. Next month, don't miss it.